Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you back for our Wealthy Women Weekly session two of our series. During our last session, we focused on mindset and how our beliefs and thoughts shape our journey to success. We talked about creating a mindset that empowers us to overcome challenges and build lasting wealth. Well, today we're actually going to dive into our equally important piece of the puzzle, health and energy. Because let's face it, without the physical and mental stamina to take action, our dreams can feel out of reach. And that's why I am thrilled to introduce someone who truly embodies the connection between health and wealth, and that's my dear friend and business partner, Allison McLeod. And just to tell you a little bit about my amazing friend, Allison, she is a 7-time international best-selling author, a wellness expert, and host of the Soul Expression Sessions podcast. With over 30 years of experience, she's helped countless women navigate their health journeys and thrive in every stage of life you can imagine. So, Allison, take it away.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And we're so excited to bring you these every week. So, yes, if you can't watch it live, please don't forget to watch the replay because, like Charlotte said, there is such a huge connection between health and wealth. You can't really have one without the other because in this day and age, you don't picture that big fat man sitting behind the desk who owns the big dealership and is, at the top of the world. It's those who are up a little earlier, healthier. We are watching what we eat, when we exercise, what are our mindfulness practices. It all comes together because in running a business, if you're going to be productive, if you're going to build that resiliency, it takes some muscle to build when you're going to be an entrepreneur. It's not the easiest journey, but we know in our heart of hearts that if that is your path, that is where you're going. And you need to really make sure that you are on point with what you're doing. And we're going to start talking today about nutrition. Because when you're talking about energy, when you're talking about fueling the body with something that's good, right? It's like good in, good out, right? You have great outputs. You have the ability to have stamina, right? In the mornings where you have to get up early and you didn't have a great night's sleep, you can still do that because you're fueling yourself with the right stuff, right? You're taking in those wonderful leafy greens and lots of different colored vegetables and lean proteins. And it doesn't say that you can't have a treat once in a while, but you make, again, like we said last week, you're making a conscious, mindful decision to then have it because you're celebrating yourself or you wanted a little something on a birthday party. That's okay, right? Because then you're not just taking it in and going, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be eating that. And now you're eating 3 pieces of cake instead of enjoying the one. So when you enjoy what you eat, when you take that time to love on yourself and eat the healthy foods with, lean proteins, like I said, lots of vegetables and healthy fats are absolutely critical. And for the longest time, we've been told low fat or no fat, right? Well, women went from skinny to healthy to, as you know, we've all gained some weight over time because as you follow those type of scientific needs, they aren't actually serving us. So when we get back to the basics, when we understand that we want to feel better, it all starts with food, right? Garbage in, garbage stays. It doesn't go out again. So you have to be really careful what you do. And it also has and plays a huge part on your brain. And we've known that as we grow older, because if we have some memory issues or, we need to take different supplements, that comes along with the stages of life you're at. And ladies, we're all going to hit menopause at some point, right? And that's, a big concentration for us because it's the 40, 35 plus women that are starting businesses, right? And you're starting a business, while you're a mama. You could be married, you have a partner, dogs, cats, you take care of your house, right? You wash the car, you shovel the snow, right? It's all part of what you have to do. And menopause is something that is, of course, internal to you, and everybody experiences it differently. But we want to make sure that as an entrepreneur, you're fueling your body with the best things possible. And then what we call fitness, I love to say movement, right? I want you to have fun with it. I want you to love who you are, even if it's just dancing around the living room. And if it's something that you need to, feel really good at, if you just get in the gym and, bust out a workout, then by all means, get in there, do what you have to do, have an amazing 10 minutes on a cardio machine, warm yourself up, and then go do more of that to be able to build some lean muscle and really look at increasing your stamina. And it helps reducing stress. It helps, building the resilience needed to navigate challenges that come up in your business, right? Because also when you're in movement, if you go for a walk, if you, do a gym exercise, or even do micro workouts. I have a lot of executives that do micro workouts, and Charlotte and I talked a lot about this, because if you don't have a lot of time to do a 1 hour exercise regime, then do squats for a half an hour, do some stretching at your desk, right? Do a number of different things just to keep yourself in motion and keep yourself in movement, which also helps to build resilience within your body. So if you're traveling a lot, right, that's going to change the dynamic of what it is you're doing and how you're doing it, right? If you have to be on stages, right, you're going to be doing a lot of walking across that stage. You're going to be doing a lot prep up to that work, right? In Charlotte's Right Speak and Profit, we're going to teach you how to do all that stuff. You need the stamina to be able to stay on course and to be able to focus on where it is you need to be this year. And we know that you can get there. And all these little tricks are biggies. And the last one I'm going to talk about right now is sleep. And as we know, that's something we get or we don't get, right? As women, who knows what wakes us up half the time, especially during menopause or just having kids and waking up to noises. And the wind was howling here for a snowstorm again last night, and the power went out, so the dog wasn't happy, so things were beeping. So, right, but you have to be able to roll with the punches. You have to be able to have the stamina, and you really need to think of sleep as your secret weapon. And I love that, because when you get a solid 7-8 hours sleep, then you have the ability to make better decisions. You're not being really emotional every time something comes up. So your emotional intelligence increases, and you're really able to then be more creative, right? You're able to really hone into what it is you need to do. And sleep for everybody is different. I had one client who could sleep for 5.5 hours. I could sleep for 5.5 hours. I would need a nap 3 hours later, right? I need 7.5 hours right now, is my optimal window, 7 to 8 hours sleep. So for me, that's what I try and get every night. But then it's looking at what can you do then to make sure that your sleep is better for you, right? Is it, not watching TV after dinner? Is it, making sure you eat? I eat before 6 o'clock every night, because if I'm in bed by 9:30, I want that 3 hour window to make sure that my body can, digest what's going on, and I can power down and, have my minerals and do my collagen and, have my sleepy time tea to be able to tone the body down, right? And then I'm good to go the next morning. So what else works for you? And maybe it's doing light stretching or yoga or just some nice dance flow or qigong around the living room, just to be able to allow the body to come to some form of stasis that you need so you can have a good night's sleep. And a number of things I've started to do is, not having so many night lights in my bedroom because it was lit up. The cat doesn't need a light, so I can turn that off. And then also putting my phone into the bathroom next door, so I'm not looking at it all the time. So I'm charging it in there. The alarm will go off in there. And half the time I'm up before the alarm. But in the case that it is, I don't hit snooze, right? I got out of that habit, right? And that's one of the biggest habits that will break you down for the start of your day if you keep hitting snooze. So when your body wakes up and you're like, yeah, I'm awake, but I just want to lay here, that's one thing. Then go into prayer, go into meditation, whatever it is your morning practices are. But if it's just to roll over and get 10 minutes more sleep, you're doing yourself more harm than good. So yes, so I just wanted to bring those to light this time, just so you can have a better idea of what it is you want to do. And certainly as we go along in a number of our programs, Charlotte and I will dig so much deeper into, what to eat, when to eat, what's the best movement for what. Certainly we have to build muscle too, ladies, so we can stay strong and lean and all of that. So it is not something I can just tell you in 12 minutes and it's going to change your life, but hopefully there's a couple of nuggets there that really make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you so much for all of that amazing insights that you've been sharing with us, Allison, because, each of us, we do have different lifestyles. And what I love about entrepreneurship and being able, to be a wife, mom, and like you said, some of us have cats, some of us has dogs, some of us do so many different things. For me, I homeschool. I have multiple businesses, and just I have my husband, and so many different things that we do in a run of a day. And for me, I actually get up 4 a.m. every single day. It's like clockwork. And so I'm always doing things. I find that I get so much done because I'm getting up early and being very productive because of the different things with checking in with the team and all these other different things that I have. When you have multiple businesses, you're checking in with all of the different people that are helping you to grow at the same time as well. So, it is going to be so essential for you to have that customized, personalized plan so that you can, again, be in the right mindset to build and scale your business and your life, to have that optimum, health, nutrition, all putting it all together into this unique plan, then that will be unique to you, that will allow you to have that freedom, in your life and in your business at the same time. Because, many of us, we're doing so many things, but we don't know how to balance it all. And so you need a coach, a mentor, someone that can help you guide through and navigate through your life and your business at the same time as well. And so I'm going to ask you all that are tuning in with us, and those of you that will be catching the replay, what type of life challenges are you having? What type of business challenges are you having right now that you're trying to balance, that you're trying to navigate at the same time as well? And I'm going to actually turn it back over to you right now, Allison, and just kind of check into the chat. And for those of you who are here live, go ahead and if you want to unmute yourself at this time, you can unmute yourself and ask all of those burning questions so that we can help you navigate, so that you will leave this session like really ignited, so that you will move forward with your life and your business with confidence. So I'm going to be off the screen for just a second and I will come back on, but you are in good hands with Allison.
Thank you. And like you said, right, we all have our different stages. She's up at 4, I'm up at 5. It's, getting stuff done first thing in the morning. But I want you to think this week too about, what is it that you need for energy? How do you optimize your energy stores, right? If you ever saw Tony Robbins, like he's jumping up and down and he's right. He gets energy going. He gets it pumping. He gets everyone excited and alive. And you need to figure out what works for you to do that, right? Sometimes when I'm working and it's head down for 4 hours and I look up and go, oh my gosh, this is great. I got a lot done, but now I'm stiff. So I'll shake it out, or I'll take the dog for a walk, or do some stretching. And it's just something that you need to figure out for yourself that works for you, whether it's jumping up and down, doing squats for 10 minutes, or just simply doing some stretching so you can feel like you're alive again and moving, right? So because sometimes we get stiff, right? We're in front of computers a lot. We are doing videos. We are, making sure that we can work with our teams. We're making sure that everything is laid out. Scripts are done. Like, we're busy and we're getting productive stuff done. But then you also have to stay top of mind for what it is that fuels you, what it is that helps you energize yourself. And I had one person, she loved to meditate. She would go and she would meditate, and all of a sudden she'd be the Energizer Bunny. I'm like, great, I meditate, I'm going to wind down and have a nap. So I don't do that in the middle of the day unless it's a very active meditation. And we're going to provide those for you in our groups as well, because your morning meditation will be different than your afternoon meditation, because it's going to be full of life and it's going to be a little more spunky, and it's going to get you thinking a little differently and clearer, as opposed to your nighttime sleep meditation, which is then going to draw you into building the best manifestation of a life you desire, and also being able to give you the best sleep you can get. So all of this is going to come together because you are that whole person. And we want to holistically make sure that from soup to nuts, from everything from your health, for your wealth, how you set up your business, and really how you want to set up your lifestyle, it's all going to make a huge difference for you. And what you do is you, right? You don't have to do what we do. You don't have to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. You can get up at 7. Whatever is right for you is how we're going to help you move forward to be able to achieve your dreams, to be able to achieve the perfect health that you want, and still be able to have that lifestyle that people look at and go, does she ever work? Right? People have looked at us and said, wow, you're like always online, or you're chatting, or you're doing this, because we're people, and we're here to help you get to the next level. And we have also gotten to the point where we don't care what other people think. We know we have a big vision. We know that this thing is massive, and it's been downloaded to us. We've been told this is what we need to do, and we're going to do it, right? And what happens most of the time, once you get into that groove and you're in alignment, which means you're healthy, you're happy, your mind, body, and spirit are all in alignment with your vision and mission, you're unstoppable. And so are we. So come on along for the ride.
Absolutely. So thank you again, Allison, for everything that you're sharing with us. Like, for me, when it comes to it, getting myself energized, first thing in the morning, I actually start with prayer, meditation, and exercise. I actually block off literally 2 hours, before I begin my day, 2 hours, I like to say, of me time. But that may be different for other people. Again, I also homeschool, and I have my businesses, but when people, they're like, I cannot believe you're doing all of these things. But the reason that I can do it is because if you're having a team and everything, you have this schedule that you're going by. And the beautiful thing about being able to work for yourself is having the opportunity to, like, if a family emergency come up, or something in your business comes up, or you just decide you're not feeling well that day, you can make changes. And just that's another thing that I want to bring up, because sometimes as women in business, being an entrepreneur, we are so hesitant to let our team sometimes take control if you're not able to be able to move forward, because you might have been had a family emergency come up, or you're just not feeling good that day. Sometimes you have to be willing to let others I like to say, take the crown, if you will, and be able to help you. Be willing and be open to letting people help you so that you can move to the next level. Because as an entrepreneur, sometimes we get to a point where when you're first starting out, you're like, oh, I don't have the amount to invest in a personal assistant, or I don't have, the investment to be able to to invest in a software or anything like that. And a lot of times when you're holding yourself back, it's like, what is it going to cost you to not get someone to help you? I mean, literally, you can get people hired from the Philippines that would work literally for $4 an hour, $2 an hour. What would 5 hours a week do for you if you could just outsource, some of the I like to say some of the heavy lifting, some of those tedious tasks that are holding you back because you're trying to figure out, this new tech software that you could have just get someone that already knows how to do it to kind of speed up your progress. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that aspect of it because, as being a woman entrepreneur, so many of us don't want to let that go. And a lot of times you're eating out, you're buying that Louis Vuitton handbag or that Michael Kors, it's like, well, is this going to help you move your business and your life to the next level? I could see if you're rewarding yourself because you hit a sales quota for the week, or you actually took action on doing something and you rewarded yourself for that. That's how I do for myself. I know I reward myself when I achieve something. I make a list of things that I want, and then it's like, oh, I can't get that until I achieve this goal. And so I reward myself, and I reward my team, and I reward my clients for being loyal at the same time as well, because I'm a big believer of me giving back. I'm going to receive like 20 times more than what I give out. So, yeah. So if you guys have a question, go ahead and take the floor.
I don't really have a question. I just ran into a situation. So we're talking ageism.
Oh, yes.
So there's a lot of that happening here. So I had a conversation with a lady the other day, and it was so negative, and it was the reverse of the way we would think. I hope this is how we think, of course, because we're talking optimal health. We're talking about thriving and thriving, right? And everything, and this person's only going to be 60 years old. She's actually February 2nd, but everything is breaking down, everything is hurting. And now with the way the environment and financial systems are changing, her scarce is because she bakes. She's a baker. She makes some type of baking. So she's worried about how that's going to, everything was negative. I mean, that she's breaking down this and that. And like the years, like there's not enough years. I mean, and I mean, I see the whole 40, like if I'm in my 20s, I'm looking towards 60. I'm not looking at, I just can't believe that these are some thoughts. And so it was hard because here I am on a high harvest, and here she is going, and she's not really in a drought. She's putting herself and she's killing it all. You know what I mean? As much as it wants to flourish, she starts with so much negative that I'm just concerned, and it's hard to bring that. How do you live that? How do you live?
And I see that, Lisa, a lot. So thanks for bringing that up. That's awesome to talk about, because a lot of women don't understand postmenopause is a thing. Like, I'm 60 years old. I ended up getting fibromyalgia, and, I needed both hips replaced. Like, other things started going, but they have no idea why, right? And like her being 60, she's been on her feet for so long, maybe she hasn't done proactive stuff, right? And that's what I find with women, right? If you're not eating the right stuff, you're right, she's busy, so she's grabbing whatever she's baking, and might taste amazing, but it may not fuel her to what she needs, right? So then the joints start to hurt.
1 second, sorry. So she sees all this coming, because in all these conversations during her working, she knew that she was having this pain in the ankle. She knew that the carpal tunnel was increased. Never, doesn't have the time to stop to take that me time at all. And, like there's no time to take that focus. So she sees that she's walking right in it. You know what I mean? And of course, we're doing everything to not get into it. And that's what I mean. So hearing that, yeah, I have to make sure that you understood she sees it all coming. So there's a lot of us that see it. We know that because we just walk through it. You know what I mean? And we're breaking down, but we're going to push through it with a pain. And then now she's looking and like she's getting old and all these things are happening. And I'm not going to be that 70-year-old broken woman. I was like, oh my God, I'm looking at 70 thinking of how empowered we're going to be, not how broken we're going to be. So I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome because you're right. And when she sees that and if she's surrounded by that, then it's something that is her world, right? So she's looking at other role models and monikers to say, women start to break down now. And I'm like, but that's not a thing that has to happen, right? And you don't have to break down the same someone else breaks down. But then part of that too is up here, right? Because we say, oh my gosh, I'm going to have sore ankles. Well, guess what? The next day, you're probably going to have sore ankles only because now you're concentrating on that part of the body and you go, oh, that's stiff. So then you equate, stiff with sore. So the mindset is a huge thing when we're going through this journey and the health-wise stuff. And yes, if she started taking even a little bit, a half an hour of her time in the morning, just to tell her, say, hey, we want to celebrate you. This is your time. We want you to take some time for you just to celebrate that, right? Because sometimes it's really hard. Because I know my grandmother too I'm getting up in the morning. They had a farm. They had a bar. Everybody worked on the farm. Then they came and ate at the bar. Like she just literally went from one job to another. And it's that difficulty. Has she said anything to you?
Well, that's the whole thing to bring up on me time, because she does so much and has to juggle so much that me time it's just not on the calendar. And I don't know how you can start getting into some type of roles like this and not have that in the calendar. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I'm watching I'm watching the inflammation build up. I'm watching the mentality breaking down. I'm, listening to this. This is only a phone call thing. And it's just hard to, how, taking that 5 minutes, and she hears me, I'm usually out walking or doing something. And that's what I'm saying. But there's just no time. And then you hear the anger, you know what I mean? The upsetness. But that's what I mean. Is there a lot of women out there that really don't focus to make that time? Because, to watch this breakdown will start occurring and you'll see it, depending what age bracket we're talking to. So yeah, I'm just wondering, because this is an ageism culture now, and because we're getting stronger and living longer, so how do we change that? Because that's not how you're supposed to look at it. You're supposed to be looking.
No, and I think a lot of women are changing how they look at it, because we're teaching you don't succeed by hustle and grind, right? You succeed too by self-care. You succeed by watching your thoughts. You succeed by how you're going to be in play, right? What are your systems? Who's helping you? And maybe it's having her teach somebody, right? But she has to really want to let go of some of the reins, like Charlotte talked about earlier. Let go of the reins a little bit. Have someone come in and maybe do the early stuff prep. And then she has some me time, and then she can come in and work her genius and her magic, right? But it's a whole different way of doing things that she has to be open to.
But you did point on something when you talked about what that surrounding is, because where she comes from, it's that environmental cage where you don't really drift out a lot of different outlooks. It is pretty glim there, you know what I mean? And there was always something different about her. She always had a different air, but yet to see this stuff all being put under the rug, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's just hard to see that, because it's hard to get people to want to help themselves,
And you know what? You're doing great. All you can do is encourage her and say, hey, if you take a little of you time, I'm sure time will open up, or, and it'll be hard for her to take that in at first, right? Because if it's not something you're used to, it's not ingrained in your belief system, then it's going to be hard. But dropping those little hints every once in a while, she sees how great you're doing. You're going for a walk, you're feeling energized. Now you can complete what you need to do. She sees that too. So hopefully that will go along, and we'll say a prayer for her and hope that opens her eyes for sure.
Yes. Yeah. That was great.
Yeah, because she definitely, if she's not open to having that change, like you, I keep constantly hearing you say how she has so much going on. And it's like, if she's not, if personally she's not willing to change, like let some people, that's all the work that she's doing, if she's not willing to, I like to say, outsource it to someone else, then it's like she is going to constantly keep having to deal with that same situation. And then it's like, I'm big on this year. My thing is changing into the right environments, because if you're in an environment where people are always draining you, and you're not being around positivity, I mean, it's like you're going to keep attracting negative energy. And if you want positive energy and you want positive things to happen for you, you have to change your environment. It's no putting it off. I mean, this is just me being real. If you want your situation to change, you have to be open and willing to take the necessary steps to make that happen. That may be shifting gears with the friends you have, with the colleagues you have, with the people you are surrounding yourself around, getting in the right rooms, being connected to the right people that's going to elevate you, inspire you, uplift you, and be there to support you. And that's personal community and that's business community at the same time as well, because there's no way you can thrive in your life and thrive in your business if you don't, be willing to make the change.
And the interesting part is she's always done a lot of business. I mean, she was a hairdresser, started at 18. She had her own business. I mean, and here she is, as I'm saying, she's 60. So now she's switched, and then she's also one of those caretakers that help you with your house organization, stuff like that. So she's always doing stuff, and that's what I mean. We don't see this under all those busy women, and is that a thing where how they're feeling that pain and seeing this happening to them, but they still want to keep doing it? And even though they know, I mean, as you said, it's everywhere, self-care, but it's not being done. And my thing is, because coming from radiology, seeing disease and destruction, knowing that these breakdowns take place, and this is our whole goal, is to help us avoid all that and change all that. And then you have these people that breaking through, as you said, that environment. And I'm hoping, that she'll come here to be with me for a week. So that whole environment, that's all I keep thinking is that, because the inflammation buildup and stuff really gets me, because I really see. Then she had to be a caretaker too. Oh, to top it all off. So talking about a big shift, as we're talking ageism and that culture of those caretakers also, we're out there doing our business, and then this big wrench fell in when she had to take care of her mother. So that shifted everything in life. Okay, so now finally, this is weeks later, the mother went back home, and now she's sitting in the middle of like, and now I got to do this, and I got to do this, put this, so these are to the caretakers that are out there and all that are suddenly strict.
Yeah, but Lisa, all that sounds like a mindset issue.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. It has
to grind. She's I have to be busy or I'm not worthy. So until she decides to take a deep breath and rate where she stands, and if she's with you, that'd be awesome. Just to say, I'm worthy. Let's go for a walk. Let's, have a nice salad. Let's go and relax on a park bench and watch the birds. Like whatever it is you can get her to do to believe she's worthy.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. All this other stuff is just busy noise. And women are very good at having busy noise. We can
Yes.
always be busy. It's making that informed decision for ourselves to stay calm. And we
Yes.
keep talking this next segment about stress management. So this will help too.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. That was, and when I hear Lisa, sharing that, that's how originally when I first started in entrepreneurship and I was working in corporate, I literally was doing all of that. And people didn't know I was actually taking care of my mom. I was taking care of my dad. I was taking care of my children. And then on top of that, I had multiple businesses, and that was before I made the shift to go full-time entrepreneurship and being a hairstylist, because that's my background in the industry now for over 28 years as a hairstylist and beauty salon manager and salon owner. So it's like I can relate to what you're saying, Lisa, but the breakthrough for me was saying yes to myself. Yes, that I need help. And yes, I'm going to shift gears because this is not the life that I want. This is not going to do anything but continue to run me down. So for women tuning in and you're doing everything, I'm going to challenge you to evaluate your life, your situation, your current business situation, and say, what are you going to do today, starting today, to improve on that? Take some time, write it down so you can see it, in front of you. See it in front of you. And what are you going to say? What are you going to say no to that's holding you back? What are you going to say yes to that's going to propel you forward?
Right.
I love that. And I love what you said earlier too about celebrating yourself, because that's a big part of who we are and what we do in celebrating each other. And we want you to celebrate yourself too, because there are milestones. But again, we're very good at also wanting that quick dopamine hit. And if you go buy that Louis Vuitton bag and that's just because it makes you feel better, please think this way. Think, if I could use that $500 to buy the bag, that's a cheap one. Go and put that $500 into Facebook ads, or like Charlotte said, hire someone who's going to take a task off of your plate so you can live in your zone of genius. And when you do that, then it's just a different approach to how you do things. Right. And a lot, like Lisa said, this woman is just so busy and she has to stay busy, and she already knows she's going to fall apart. Well, yes, because she isn't now taking time and coming from a place of ease and grace for yourself, for your business, for your clients, right? We don't want to teach you that hustle and grind 24/7 is the way to go, because it's not. We have proven that methodology. So we want to make sure that what we give you, we've already lived through. We've already researched, we've already taken the product, we've already done all of this, right? Before, we say, hey, this is something we would recommend. And really, again, moving into this next health wealth connection, let's talk your morning and your evening routines, right? Because if your morning is going to set up your day, then your night sets up your sleep, and both have such an incredible correlation of how you're going to be successful in business and moving forward. So think about that in the morning, right? You've heard a bit about what Charlotte does. I'm up at 5. I like to listen to my Bible podcast in a year. So I start off my day with that, into prayer and meditation. And then do a little bit of exercise on my little Invictus, bike, and then be able to listen to Headway. So I'm getting some synopsises from other books, right? And I'll read later in the day. And then that also helps us to power down a little bit from, being on screen and watching TVs and scrolling through your phone and having that bombardment in your eyes of what's happening, because we have so many hits from marketing, sales, just information that's out there. We want to really tone that down. If you're going to be really, really focused, people will look at a couple of different things, right? They'll look at, maybe a health magazine and a business magazine. Pick one or two of those, and then that's all you look at, right? I don't want you scrolling through 17 different things to go, oh, this looks nice. Oh, that looks nice. Ooh, look at this over here, right? The shiny object thing can also detract your attention from your focus, right? Because I can tell you right now, if you put 2025 and yourself first, it's going to be a banger year to get everything in play. So 2026 and beyond can be your lifestyle years. So we're here to help you do that. We're here to make sure that you are mission critical for who you are and what you need to do, right? So it's little things like reflecting on your wins for the day, reflecting on, okay, I only got 1 and 2 done on my to-do list, and I don't recommend more than 5, right? And then move them to the next day. But you do what's critical first. You do what you don't want to do first, and then it gets off your plate. And it's usually something that you need to do to have that done. So when you're talking stress management now, right, you're incorporating everything we talked about last week, your mindfulness practices, your meditation, your deep breathing, right? Because when you calm the nervous system, you're eating better. If you're having that piece of cake or that ice cream cone, you're enjoying it in the moment and you move on. You don't beat yourself up, or you decide not to have it, right? I remember Oprah, and we were giggling about it yesterday, because Oprah said, she's always been a big girl, right? She was always worried about having the cupcake or the potato chips. But now that she had taken a GLP-1, and she's lost weight on the medication, she thought, well, what do skinny people think? But then as she got to know skinny people and she got to become a skinny person, it wasn't something she thought about. So it was just kind of interesting for her to say, but they just don't think about that stuff, right? Because when she was big and fat, she had the thoughts of, oh my gosh, I'm going to deprive myself of this, right? Where someone who's healthy and lean, it's like, no, it's not about depriving myself of anything. I am choosing to do what is best for me, what is best for my business, right? So my health and my wealth go hand in hand, and 2025 can be my best year yet. And that it's deciding what that is for you, right? Sometimes, like I said, stress management is doing that bigger, heavier workout. Sometimes it is, learning kickboxing, right? Doing yoga, right? Whatever it is that makes you feel better so you can have that stress management. And a lot of that too is breath work. It's getting outside and getting some fresh air, even in the nice frigid cold. It's a nice sunny day here. I will take the dog out for a walk, but then it's energizing, right? You're getting fresh air. You're filling your lungs. You feel good, right? You feel better, right? Think of those as the dopamine hits of, oof, okay, I'm outside. This is awesome, right? In the summer, one of the first things I do with the dog is I go outside bare feet, and it's bare feet in the grass. And I just, center and ground myself with Mother Earth. And I feel great for the rest of the day as a start. But prioritize what it is that works for you. Prioritize you. That small act of kindness is going to go far. Because if you're doing it, your entire team sees it, your family sees it, right? My kids see it. So the role model you are for yourself is the role model you are for others, right? Because sometimes we'll do for others that we won't do for ourselves. So I need you to think of yourself first, and what would you do for yourself that you would also do for others? And then that would be, a really great place to move into this self-compassion, right? We have to love ourselves. Remember, this life's a journey. there's no end point until there's an end point. And then, right, you're up in heaven, or you're right wherever you believe you're going to is the next stage for you. But when you're looking at life, right, it's this amazing, wonderful journey. It's not just a destination after destination after destination. That just sounds like it's and icky and irky, and you have to get somewhere, and then, okay, now where next? And then I have to get here, and where next? Where if you're just in the ease and flow of what life is, right, then everything isn't so difficult, and you don't come up against a brick wall, right? And changes occur all the time, right? We're never in the same day over and over again. We don't have a Groundhog Day, even though sometimes it feels like it, if you ever watch that Bill Murray movie. But it's a continuous flow of change, right? We get older, our hair grows longer, we need to get cut our nails, right? Everything changes over time, and so will the reiteration of your business. But if you stay focused on the main vision and mission, if you keep yourself fueled, moving, and wonderfully self-cared for, you are going to be incredible at what you do, because we're here to make sure and keep you accountable for going in that direction, and for, you know, being the best person you can be. You have genius within inside of you that people need to know. They need to have. They need to be able to really look at you as that person now. And I know we were saying ageism, but, you know, when I turned 60 last April, I thought, oh, all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I have wisdom. It's just like, okay, I don't have to continue. I'm a lifelong learner, and I love to read too, but it's like, I don't have to just hustle and grind in the learning mode. I have learned so much, I've researched so much, that I now have to share this with the world, as do you, right? You get to a point where you have found out something, it's working for you. I can guarantee you it can work for somebody else. And we're here to help you, love on you, help you build your self-worth and self-compassion, so you can have the best business foundation moving forward in 2025. And it all starts with your health, because then it moves into your wealth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to check the chats again to make sure that we didn't miss anyone. And if you are on and you need to unmute yourself to chat with us, definitely unmute yourself. And for those of you who are tuning in to the replay, you can make sure that you leave us a comment below the video and get all of your burning questions answered. For those of you who are not in the community, it's wealthywomenuniversity.com to join us live there. And you're able to get lots and tons of resources that we're providing within the community. In fact, it's over $12,000 worth of resources, tips, tools, and software that you get access to, because we want to see you be successful in your life and business. 2025 is going to be the kickstart for you to do just that. So I'm going to check the chat again. Anyone else who have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes, definitely. Like she said, if you're listening to the replay, or if anything comes up later, Lisa, definitely leave a comment, and we can certainly look into it this week for sure. You know, just what challenges you are facing, you know, balancing your health and entrepreneurship, right? Is it, you know, mindset? Is it nutrition? Is it movement? Is it all the above? Or, you know, is it more of a mental health challenge? What is it that you're looking at that we can help support you in? And we'd love to help you, you know, throughout that journey.
Oh, okay. It's just really reading everything in the software and information that Charlotte has there, because on this part of the journey, there's not a lot of things that I'll know of what I need right now, you know. So that's why when I was thinking of my girlfriend, as I was telling you, that stay busy illness is just really that, you know, she is always busy, and to see now that, you know, I could bring that to her in that manner is really comforting, because you got to show it somehow, you know, because it's just building up, as I said, and then I know it's just going to make her more sick, and nobody wants that.
No, that's true.
So
Absolutely. So I know that Deja is here on the line. And Deja, are you there? I know she's trying to unmute. Well, if you have questions or comments, you can definitely, and you're having tech issues, you can definitely text it into the chat as well, and we can get your comments, questions, or concerns. I am just checking while we just chime in a bit here with all of you that are tuning in. Again, I want to reiterate to go to wealthywomenuniversity.com. For those of you who are not already in the community, make sure that you get all of the valuable resources, strategies, tips, and connections that are there. All of the women that are a part of our community are on this journey together, and that's absolutely what I love. I know, Deja, you're trying to unmute yourself and you're not able to. If you want to just type into the chat and let us know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we would greatly appreciate that. But in the meantime, Allison, did you have anything else you want to share? Or Lisa, if you had any questions or concerns as well?
no questions at this time. I hate that I can't think of one right now. After you hang up, it's like, that's what I wanted to ask. So,
Okay.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is, we have our Wealthy Women weekly calls every Wednesday. And if it's like any changes or anything, we would always let you know. So that's why it's so important for everyone to get in the community, because we have those announcements. It's just our hub for us to be able to communicate and collaborate together with everyone at the same time. And so it's really helpful to see all of the women, all of us together on this journey, and really being able to support each other. Because in business, especially when I started out, one of the biggest things that I struggled with was not having the support when I started out in business, because my family, the only person that was an entrepreneur was my mom. And so she actually inspired me to want to become an entrepreneur, because having that freedom, it was just so important, and it was just such an inspiration. And I'm like, how many other women will want to be able to have that freedom? So that's why we love what we're doing right now, to be able to have more women be able to do just that, build that business, build that freedom lifestyle around doing what you love, and being able to serve others, because in this life we've learned so much, and we all have different stories that we could be inspiring other women with, and other people with, as we're on this journey at the same time. So I just want to take this time and thank you, Allison, again, and thank you all for tuning in to today's session. Because Allison, your energy, and everyone that's tuning in, your energy and openness really makes this community like so special. I'm going to check in again. I know that I saw that Deja has she just wanted to let you know, Allison, that she appreciates what you said, and the main thing she has to say in comment is that self-care isn't selfish, and that she appreciates how she made it, Allison, that you made it clear to the point that that it's not selfish to love on yourself and make your happiness a priority, and also not being afraid to set boundaries. Allison, that's what Deja had to say.
Awesome. Thanks, Deja. No, that's true. Like, we didn't talk a lot about boundaries today, but we will. Because that is a big big piece of guarding your energy, right? Like
it is.
Charlotte, you may have to look into your personal life, your business life, and there may be people that you just have to move a little further away from this year to get to where you need to get to. Because not everybody is, in your corner. And it's not to say they don't love you. They love you dearly, but they couldn't think of themselves as being an entrepreneur. So that is their fear that they're projecting onto you. I'm the only entrepreneur in my family.
Wow.
And they keep asking me when I'm getting a real job and have I applied for jobs. Well, I have a real one. Thank you.
Mhm.
I love it dearly. And I got business partners like Charlotte, and we're, really going to hit 2025 this year with a lot going on. But, not everyone's going to be in your corner. And again, it's not you. You are worthy. You are wonderful. You are worth every little bit of self-care that you give yourself with ease and grace, because, you're the one, and women are going to rule the world. We are the ones that keep it turning without blowing up. So we need to be strong. We need to be healthy, and we need to be financially secure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Allison. And Deja also said she loved to say also that the most important investment you can make is in yourself. That's so important. I always would say, and I even, in fact, I wrote about it. I said, self-care is not a luxury. It's essential. Because people would always say, oh, you're always wanting to get your hair done. You're always wanting to get a pedicure. You're always wanting to get a massage. In order for me to be at my peak performance as a high performance coach, I have to have these things. It's not just, oh, she just wants to do that.
It's all part of the package.
Yeah, my husband is like, oh, you just want to spend more of my money. I was like, no, I'm spending our money.
To make more money, to feel good, to lay that role model out there for people. I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely. But before we actually wrap up, here's a challenge for all of you that are tuning in and watching the replay, as well as those of you that are live. We want you to identify one area of your health, whether it's, Allison talked about sleep, we talked about exercise, we talked about nutrition, and then, like we talked about, improving it. So choose one area that you're going to focus on improving. And that's not hard at all. One area. And then share your progress and your wins in the community forum. Because next week, we're actually going to be building on this and diving more into it, talking about clarity, confidence, and goal setting as well. And definitely these are the tools that will help you to turn your vision into a reality. Allison, did you have anything else you wanted to share before we end our session for today?
Oh, I just want to say thank you, Charlotte. It's been always a pleasure to work with you and to be able to come together to teach the women a little more about loving on themselves and the health aspect of building wealth. So we love you. We know you're worthy. We just want you to carry that belief as well. So from our hearts to yours, thank you for listening.
Hey, question.
Okay.
It's the question in there. I just want to know, is there like a certain structure, or do you ever see the need for resumes for speakers, holistic health coach resumes, things like that? I mean, because there's an application that I'm filling out and it's requiring a resume, but I only know from all the ones I've had in radiology, my resume. So is there a certain structure that for this thing that they would want to see?
Well, typically when someone does ask about a resume, they normally would have I would like to say an outline of what they're looking for, like structure, frame, because it's like it depends on what you're actually applying for. Is it just to speak, or is it going to be an ongoing speaker, ongoing coach? Or they're bringing you on as, something else.
Woman business certification.
Yeah. So Sometimes they will ask for the resume just to see what your areas of expertise is as far as that. So you want to just highlight on the resume those areas of expertise that you want when it comes to for the certification aspect of it, so they'll know where you are currently at, and then what your overall goal is at the same time as well. That's typically what how I would suggest for you to structure it.
Would I bring up at all? Would I just, because I had to really give up on radiology and let it go, but would I bring that up at all on there as part of that history? Or
Oh,
do I
yes.
this history forward?
Absolutely.
Yes, like you would definitely want to leverage those skills that
Oh.
you all right. It's like I was in corporate like for all of those years, and I developed leadership, business, and marketing. So think about all of those key aspects that you've already developed, and now you're bringing it into the forefront of leveraging that on your resume and your business and everything that you're doing in your life. That's what's making you powerful, and that's one of your superpowers. So you definitely want to make sure you're leveraging that.
Okay, because I thought it's from here on, book speaker, coach, stuff like that. I didn't know that because I have to learn to leave it out of the conversation because it was so much a part of me that, so I didn't know how much does it go on this. So, okay, that really helps a lot because that's what I'm working on right now, and I didn't put it in there. Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that was very helpful. And if you have any more questions, you can definitely reach out and put those questions also in our Wealthy Women University forum as well, as you have additional questions. And for those of you that are watching, if you have any additional questions as you're watching this, make sure you're in the community. That's wealthywomenuniversity.com to make sure you're in there so you can get your burning questions answered so we can support you. That's, again, what our community is all about. So I just want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in with us, for being here with us, for being the best part of our community. Allison, again, I cannot thank you enough for always adding value to our community. And we just appreciate you. We love each and every one of you. We love you, Allison. And we just look forward to being here again with you next week, same time, same place.
Take care. Perfect.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye for
Thanks.
now.
It's really great seeing you guys. Thank you.
Great
Thank
seeing
you.
you as well.